Jack and Mel weigh in.
So the Karolina Kowalkiewicz fight was very one-sided.
Yep.
Hard to watch. I really like Karolina. I've always been a big fan of hers. Her injuries, right? So let's break it down. Between the rounds, she came over to her corner, and I remember at the time just hearing that she couldn't see. So she was like, I can't see, or I can't see. And then I think between the second and third round, she was saying she was seeing double or triple.
I think it was between the first, because she came out, as far as I remember, for the second, and they went for like the glove tap, and she just missed it.
Yes. Yeah. So wait, right.
So it looks or it sounds like a broken orbital bone.
She put a video up, her face all swollen. They were saying that they wouldn't let her fly.
The pressure.
She might need. Well, she does need surgery, but the question is whether or not she gets it in Poland or she gets it, in New Zealand. She's also, this is quite mad. She was saying it's the first time in her entire career that she's not been able to say, I'm okay after a fight, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
But it was really, really hard to watch. It was so one-sided. Now, we have criticised corners in the past by, their lack of. The worst one I remember was the Pennington one.
Yeah,
against Nunes, where her corner just were like, no, we're just going to keep sending you out, which was, even though she'd said, and I quote, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, a couple of interesting things about this that I want to get your opinion on. One, her coach has blamed the doctor. He said, when I entered the cage, I did not notice that this eye did not move. Karolina thought it would be a scratch and the eyesight will come back soon. The doctor who came in sucked, because after the fight in hospital, we learned that a doctor in the cage should stop it. So, I want your thoughts on what he said and your thoughts on what responsibility lies with the coach.
Well, your fighter also told you that she can't see. She's seeing triple. She's also getting battered.
Yeah.
I think the biggest outrage with the corner is that they didn't throw the towel in.
Yeah, between the second and third, if nothing else,
yeah.
Whenever they realised, okay.
Because, what was the point? She couldn't get anything off. From all accounts, she couldn't see. It wasn't getting any better. And eyes are one of those things. You really want to avoid damage to them at all costs.
Need 'em.
You do need them. I think it's up there with pretty bad cornering decisions not to throw the towel in.
I hate this idea that he's throwing it on the doctor, though.
Doctor, if it's true, no, I can't remember seeing her eye not moving, but I mean, if she couldn't see that bad, there's three people at fault here for this. The corner, like we just said, should have thrown the towel in, should have listened. Duke Rufus is a great example of that before. We always go back to that.
With Pettis.
Pettis, yep. Oh, if your hand's broken, well, you can't fight without your hand. I'm not sending you back out there. Live to fight another day.
Yep.
It doesn't, in this case, will she live to fight another day? I mean,
I don't
metaphorically,
think so.
obviously. So there's a lot on that. Second is the doctor, who should have maybe done more thorough testing, and if the eye was that badly damaged,
the doctor should have known.
Could have called it. And the third is Karolina herself. There has to be, I know fighters are too tough for their own good and this, that and the other.
No, I agree with that.
But there has to be a responsibility for self-preservation.
To be fair,
to an extent.
Devil's advocate on that. If she's had the doctor in and the doctor's told her she's okay. Now, I understand about if she's seeing double, that she would know. But what I'm saying is, if the doctor said that's safe to fight, that the fighter to an extent is going to trust the doctor, even though they know they're seeing double. But as to be fair, as the coach said, she maybe thought it was an eye poke.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I lost my first fight because I couldn't see out of my eye, and the doctor was in and covering my good eye and holding up fingers to see how many. And I wasn't going, oh, no, stop it, I can't see. I did obviously initially say, oh, I can't see, but was still trying to guess when he was holding up the fingers, 3 or 2, and it was obviously wrong, and that got called off. So I get that as well. You want to keep going at all costs, but
yes, but if you had a doctor tell you that you were okay to continue, you would have continued.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is what I'm saying is
that's true.
I'm not saying there's no part of her
that's
is
true.
responsible.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's the point I was making, is that she's not entirely devoid of responsibility just because she would have had that viewpoint.
Yeah, it's a tough one all around, because obviously you never want to see horrific injuries like
primarily
this.
The corner and the doctor are there to protect the fighter well-being.
I think the corner more so here, purely because he's done one of the most frustrating things that I hate this.
They just passed the buck here.
Yeah, but he's passed the buck on to someone who cannot defend themselves because they're not part of the media. They're an anonymous, well, not anonymous, but you know what I mean. Yeah. He's not going to be able to come out and counter this. And on top of that, we weren't there for the doctor's conversation. Yeah. We don't know if she's told the doctor. I can see, and as he looked, and then because it's an orbital, if he's looking at the eye and then it's an orbital bone, he's not going to be like, yeah, detached retina. And he's going to look at the eye and go, your eye's actually fine. Yeah. You've a wee swelling here. Let the cut man deal with that. Yeah. So it's hard to know. But Karolina's coach, he can fuck off if he thinks that I'm going to buy for a split second. There's no responsibility on him. No. Can't just be like, oh, well, the doctor said. Well,
it's part of it. Like, as head cornerman, your fighter, or head trainer, you should know your fighter inside out. And she obviously wasn't able to perform to the level which you'd be aware of. You'd know your fighter was compromised. I just don't get the point of sending her out there like that. Eye was probably bad enough with the first break, but she got hit
numerous times.
How many more times on it, and probably made it worse. Like there's further damage, and it's eyesight we're playing with here.
It's not worth it.
No.
Karolina is one of my favorite women's MMA fighters, just from being around for so long and who she's fought. She's had a bad run recently, but she's also fought against people who've been on the way up. Her two losses before that were against Claudia Gadelia and Joanna. After that, wins against Julie Escobel, Felice Herrig, and then lost against Andrade, Watterson, Grasso, and Gina. It's a tough run. But she had wins over Rose and Randa Marcos, and women that are respected, and I think she's had a really, really solid run. We talked last week about how I'm nearly sure she'd said she wanted to have kids at some stage and stuff. I don't think she needs to retire if she doesn't want to. I think that she could. I
think this is one of the cases where I don't think she can compete at the level she has been.
So this is what I was going to say.
I think they would, if she's to continue there, one, there's going to be a huge amount of time to rehabilitate that eye.
Yep.
And then secondly, you're going to have to come back, and you have I was going to say, does she still have title aspirations? That's not always the case. We were talking about earlier in the podcast. Fighting, it's their job, and you can't. It's hard to say to someone you can't work anymore or you shouldn't work anymore. Yeah. But if she does have title aspirations, she'll have to be willing to drop way down the rankings for her next opponent to start working her way up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, she's ranked 14th at the minute, which should probably drop again.
I reckon she'll drop out.
Yeah. But the thing is what I was saying about her, the retirement side of it, which is that her two choices to me are either to take a drop in the level of competition that she's facing, or look at retirement to go and do the things that she talked about outside of the sport. And I think that she's had such a good career that if I'm her, I'm looking back at my career and going, I've beaten some great names. Well, we fought everybody.
We spoke about Paul Felder earlier. Is she ever going to get any higher than she has been?
No.
Did she make the most of her potential?
I think so. I mean, she fought Joanna when Joanna was killing everybody.
She wasn't quite good enough to be a champion, but I mean, there's no shame in that. No. She was
most people aren't.
Well, that's what I mean. She was a title challenger. I think she maximized her career, and now, even in that fight, I know the injury obviously played a huge part. I don't think overall.
I don't think it would have gone any
would have changed anything. I think the game has moved on. I think there's a more dynamic, athletic crop of female fighters. Even the way she moves, and
it's similar to what happened in men's MMA initially, where in the early days you had specialists, you had Mark Kerr, and
she did have it's not as not as specialist as that, but you know, she did have the benefit of coming to MMA
With
well
good Muay
into
Thai background.
yeah, with a good Muay Thai background, but well into the 2010s. Like, no one was really a pure specialist then.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying though. Is that I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the evolution of the sport. Where you know, when she joined, it was Ronda.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a specialist, and you could be a specialist.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the people that are coming up, like your Yan Jians.
But I think she's now getting
so well-rounded.
that was purely on the feet.
Oh yeah.
So she's getting beat
Yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah, and I'm not
at
disputing
her
that.
in her wheelhouse. So
Yeah.
like her, she's been great. I hope the eye isn't too bad, because
That's a bad injury.
that's a bad one to have.
Yeah.
And like I said, if she wants to step away and have a family, why not now?
Yeah, well, we wish her all the best and a speedy recovery, because we're both big fans. So, good luck.